Hook. Oh, Hook. What can I say about gosh darn Hook? Other than it was a movie based on a book released in 1991. I mean, there was a book in 1905 or something. Anyway, this is a movie made in 1991, starring Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams, this guy, and all the Spielberg smalts a 90s kid could ask for. Sheesh. Fortunately, it's a concept with numerous incarnations throughout the 20th century, and so it's one of the few things Disney hasn't totally assimilated by slapping their logo on it. Peter fucking Pan is a public domain concept. But for how long? So, like most movies from the early 1980s to who knows for how goddamn long at this point, Hook was adapted to the medium of video game. Because most of these games were designed purely with promotional intent, their durability as independent entertainment is a legitimate question to raise. It's like if I printed an entire Mozart piece and made a casserole from it, and served it at a banquet. It's the same thing as music, but now it's a food too. Dig in! Basically, making a game from a movie isn't a straightforward endeavor. As usual, all the token shit from the movie will turn up in the game. See? There's the top hat dude with a skateboard thing. Yeah, you remember that, don't you, Billy? All the qualities that make this a perfect facsimile of the movie are here. The saw-blade Horge-Hergs? These strongmen? This steampunk thing here? Oh, and how could you forget that throughout the movie, Peter's looking for this sweet, frosty bud. Remember? Remember that, Billy? Or whatever your name is? Okay, yeah, I'm being a tad unfair. It's not possible to perfectly recreate the movie in the form of a video game. In this respect, it's reasonable to acknowledge how the developers used what creative latitude they're given. And this assumes the guys in Japan who made this game even got to see the film or were just handed spark notes. Okay, here's the opening. Now bear in mind, I haven't seen this flick in a minute, or 2, or 10 years. There's no adventure. What? What do you mean there's no adventure? That was a long time ago. Oh, that's right. You're a lawyer. Okay, then what was a long time ago? So technically, what you're saying is there's no adventure now, but there was one in the past, right? Continuing. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So he's abducted by Tinkerbell and taken to Neverland. And unlike the movie, we're skipping over the part where Peter is scrutinized by Hook. I guess they wanted not to reveal Hook too soon since the foreboding of this game is unbearable enough. So, here are the Lost Boys, who are willing to help Peter, but only if he proves he's the real Pan. Rufio shows up to cramp Peter's swagger, but no time for questions. Off to training. Hey, Thud. You okay? You okay, buddy? So the first level is training, and your opponents consist of Lost Boy clones wielding drumsticks. Up in the HUD, there is a score, based on how much treasure you collect, a health bar they're calling power here, a bar for your flight duration, lives, and a level timer. Fantastic. Now, as far as I know, collecting treasure has no consequence for you other than bragging rights. Although I'm beginning to suspect that if you collect enough of it, eventually, your enemies start leaving health pickups instead. So this dude you're playing, he's canonically a grown adult with taxes and a mortgage and inconsequential gossip by the water cooler, wailing on these punks with a bladed weapon. Also, have I mentioned the art style yet? Look at the shading in the background, it's beautiful. Some places they went a little too crazy. Still, I gotta say that this game has a pretty impressive art style. This game was published in 1992. That's 2 years before Rareware paved over everything with Donkey Kong Country, changing graphics forever. Notice that the seasons are cycling? Like the movie. So, at the end of the level, Rufio glides onto the screen. You fight him for a bit until you win, and then this punk figures out you are the real deal. Now here's where the world map turns up for the first time. Once again, I should remark the art style is pretty good, but I don't really grasp the necessity for this map. You move sequentially through the game. Once you finish a level, there's no going back. You can't access this screen any other way. Whatever. On to level 2! So the first thing on the screen is this hedgehog. You can whip out your sword and show him what's up. Whoosh! Yeah, man, the Pan Sword is dope, bro. Also, notice that leaf up there. Make sure you don't forget it like I just did. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Take out these archers. Silver the Hedgehog here. God damn it, more bees. At this point, you may notice Peter's movements are kind of dampened, especially when you try to get running. What I'm saying is it takes a sec for Peter to go into overdrive. This isn't unheard of in games, but in Hook, it's implemented in a somewhat unusual way. See here in Super Mario World? As soon as you want to run, you'll go faster. Not a sprint, but, you know, the game acknowledges your urgency with a little speed before finally letting you sprint. But here in Hook, it almost begrudgingly gives you speed. So here, as you're jumping in between these trees, you'll definitely need it. Once again, the art style is wonderful. And the positioning of the foreground and background are at least immersive enough for you to carefully parkour your way towards the end of the level, where you run into the spandex-wearing bumpkin trying to attack you with acorns arms in extending boxing gloves. Yeah, looking cool, Pete. I should say that landing a hit on certain bosses gives you this satisfying flash. Well, until the last time you hit him. Games back then really were trying to give everyone epilepsy, weren't they? I should point out this doesn't look too bad on your end, because I've captured all my footage at 24 frames per second, so it's not really what it looks like. Here, this is what it looks like. Oof. On to level 3, which I call the Mountain of Candle Wax. I've made it pretty far without getting hit. Damn it, there goes the golden sword. If you have the sword, it absorbs 1 hit on top of your power. Beyond the end of level 1, the only way to acquire the sword is to find it in a few of the levels. But, sword or not, your only objective this level is to make it past these degenerate cretins to the celebration of the Lost Boys again. Which does raise a question for me. Why are they always waiting for Peter at the end of the level? How do they get there? What do they know that I don't? Next level! I love the music in this one. Makes me feel the adventure, my man. Oh, wait, hold on a sec. Gotta get me some of that green. Yeah. So at this point, the difficulty of the game starts to mount. It's a little unexpected to go through all this and dodge bombs and musket shot from these balloon-riding bitches. And these mermaids aren't really helping either. Oh, sure, yeah, raise me towards the bomb. Great. Fortunately, the level end boss is pretty easy despite all the madness I went through to get here. It seems Hook is throwing an all-out manhunt for the schlub. Look at this steampunk thing. Next! Cool, an ice cave. Got the bud, got the extra lives, got the sword. Let's do it! I hate Peter's hit noise. God, that's so annoying for some reason. Hey Peter, what's your favorite wood? This might be one of my favorite levels, if not the most. It's so beautiful, so majestic, and it's infested with these cocksuckers. I hate it! Just kidding. After you dispatch this pirate clone party, you'll be at the end of the level, fighting against the dumbest bastard in the game who has all but set himself up for failure. The next level is one of those automatic side-scroller thingies, and it's a pretty disconcerting one because so far you've been going to the right. I can't think of many games which pull this kind of shenanigans other than Super Mario, but it's actually pretty effective in conveying how dangerous this is. It feels scary high. And as usual, everyone is a terrorist killjoy. What do you have against me, dude? The next level is pretty cool. Yeah, don't leave the fire behind, whatever. I'm down with it. It's a chill level. Fuck. Anyway, here's this skelly man who throws his head at you. See, this is where it would be really helpful if you could kinda get running sooner. This dude is huge and moves around kinda fast. And the hit detection for Peter is kinda off. See what I mean? Look, that's not fair. I barely touched him. But eventually, after beating that guy, you finally arrive in Pirateburg. This is kind of where the game treads into the territory of unbearable. This is where the meat of this review is most applicable too, by the way. But first off, I gotta know, man, why is everyone on this island hell-bent on stopping this poor bastard from rescuing his kids? I don't have a beef with you, Holmes. Also, wouldn't it have been easier just to head east instead of going all the way around the island? It looks like the Lost Boys hideout is literally down the street from Pirate Town. Why are you going all the way around the island, you dumbass? So anyway, there's a distinct challenge. But with the drawbacks I mentioned earlier, becoming the greatest handicap. There's definitely a strategy for getting through all this, but it mostly depends on having the golden sword. I can tell by the arrangement of these enemies that the level was designed to be cleared with a sword. See, what I don't get is this sluggish response works early on in the game because the levels are more simple, so his movements aren't going to be responsive? But this many levels into the game, he should be totally the pan, man, right? Finally, Neverland must be a prohibition territory in spite of literal pirates living there. Peter is limited to only 4 sticky ickies. Doesn't matter how many of them you get throughout the game, you can only have 4. Also, if you happen to lose all your lives, the game will set you back to just 2 of them, at which point you might as well reset the game because there's no way getting through it. And like I said, there's no way getting back to old levels. So here you finally run into Hook, and then Rufio commits the awful sin of telling and not showing. I've been defeated by Hook! Just like the movie! Oh yeah, I forgot. You fight Hook twice. The game is right at the event horizon of unplayable. Once again, Pan isn't fast enough. If you lose a sword, which can happen very easily, getting through these last 2 levels is totally a trial of nerve. I even played the game a second time and found some of the places where having the sword is a godsend. Like this guy. Yeah, I can see you waiting over there, dickface. With that smirk on your dickface face. See, I found there's a bit of a puzzle in getting past dickface here unscathed, but you need the sword. You need to use the sword if you want to get past him and keep it. See? Check this out. Do you get what I'm saying, though? So even if you made it this far with a sword, once you're finally ready to step to Captain Hook, you can count on losing it. I gave up on this battle on my first playthrough, and then realized you get the smallest window to hit him. There's no indication that this is how to defeat him, and it's the only way. That's on top of losing health trying to outrun him with your wobbly hitbox. See, here's proof on what I'm talking about. Are you kidding me? Anyway, you don't even need the golden sword. Can you believe that? All that trouble for nothing. What shenanigans. And with this cutscene, Hook is eaten by the crocodile. How grand. I can't say there's much catharsis because the insanity the last 2 levels was. Wait, there's more. I forgot there was more. Oh. That's actually kind of sad. Peter turns down adventure in exchange for taxes, a mortgage, and inconsequential gossip by the water cooler. And Tink leaves unceremoniously. Doesn't say anything. No goodbye. With the music, you might expect a star-filled evening. But no. It's Peter standing there on what looks like a Tuesday afternoon outside of a house in London. I feel bad, man. This game sucks!